Hi, I'm Karl Principal Broker at Klein May Realty. Thank you for joining me for Q&A with Klein May. So our topic today is a thing called split settlements, and that's a situation where the buyer and the seller, when it's time to finalize the deal, are not all together in the same place. The buyer and their settlement agent is off in one place, and the seller and their representative is another place doing two separate sets of paperwork that then have to be put together and coordinated by the settlement agent on the buyer's side. The current practice in our area has become to not have one settlement where the buyer and seller gather around a table with a settlement agent. They do all the paperwork, but they also have a chance to talk about the home, about, hey, the garage door sticks when you do this, all those little things, the personal things. And instead, the current practice is almost entirely to have the buyer and the settlement agent in one location, and then the seller and their representative in another location. And those two people now have to get everything coordinated rather than just the one settlement agent. So the law in Virginia says the buyer gets to pick the settlement agent. They can't waive that right. They can't be tricked out of it. It is an absolute right. What happened over time, and especially in 2010 after the crash, when financing rules tightened up a little bit, there were some confidentiality rules around settlements where the buyer wasn't supposed to be seeing the seller's numbers and the seller wasn't supposed to be seeing the buyer's numbers. Some folks in the legal profession took that opportunity to say, hey, now we can charge the buyer and the seller for separate closings and get two fees instead of just one. And that's how it began to evolve, and it's now become pretty much standard practice. As a person who's experienced both, if you're a seller out there and you've accepted a contract to buy your home, you've got a ratified contract, wait until the buyer chooses a settlement agency or a law firm that's going to conduct the settlement. And then unless there is some serious objection, my advice would be to also choose that same firm to handle the seller side of the transaction. It'll save you a bunch of money, it'll save all the people involved a lot of work and a lot of phone calls back and forth, and you'll have a much better chance of a smooth closing. For our coffee today, we've gone back to Black Sheep in Harrisonburg. If you'll remember in the last episode, I told you they had a light and a dark. Today we walked in. I tried the light last week, this is the dark. And I'm definitely a fan. If you watched last week's episode, you know I liked the light, and this is just a more intense, more rich version of that same thing. I think it's very good, and the environment down there seemed to be really neat. I think it would be, if you're looking for a good place to grab a cup of coffee and get some work done, Black Sheep would be definitely on my list. Thanks so much for watching another Q&A with Klein May. We'll see you next time.